Pinocchio's Quest for the Northern. Once upon a winter evening in a cozy wooden workshop, Geppetto, the kind old toy maker, was fixing a clock, while Pinocchio, his wooden boy, sat by the fireplace, his eyes wide with wonder. Snowflakes drifted gently outside, dancing like tiny stars. "Papa?" Pinocchio asked, his wooden nose twitching with curiosity. "Have you ever seen the Northern Lights?" Geppetto smiled softly, setting down his tools. "Ah, the aurora borealis," he said dreamily. "When I was a young man, I once saw them dancing across the northern sky, ribbons of green, pink, and gold. They looked like the heavens themselves were alive." Pinocchio's eyes sparkled. "Lights that dance? In the sky? Oh, I'd love to see them too." That night, Pinocchio lay in his little wooden bed and stared out at the stars. He imagined himself standing under that magical sky. "I wish," he whispered, "that I could see the Northern Lights. Maybe then I'll feel like a real boy inside, not just outside." The wind outside whistled softly, almost as if whispering back, "Follow the north, and you will find your light." The next morning, the first snow of the season covered the village. Pinocchio woke with excitement bubbling in his chest. He bundled up in Geppetto's old scarf, packed a small bag, a sandwich, a map, and his favorite wooden whistle, and whispered to his papa, "I'll be back soon. I'm going to find the dancing lights." Geppetto chuckled. "Just don't forget your way home, my boy." And with that, Pinocchio began his grand adventure toward the north. Pinocchio trudged through the snowy forest, the trees whispering secrets as the wind rustled their branches. His wooden boots crunched with every step, and his nose tingled from the cold. Suddenly, a loud growl echoed behind him. Out from the bushes leapt a large, fluffy wolf with silver fur and bright blue eyes. Pinocchio froze, his heart knocking like a hammer in his chest. "Who dares wander my woods?" growled the wolf. I'm Pinocchio," he stammered. "I'm on a quest to find the Northern Lights." The wolf tilted his head, then burst into laughter. "A wooden boy looking for dancing lights? That's the silliest thing I've heard." Pinocchio puffed up his chest bravely. "It may be silly, but I believe I can do it." The wolf's eyes softened. "You've got courage, little puppet. Maybe too much." He smirked, then turned around. "Follow me. I know a path that will lead you past the forest, but beware of the frozen river. Many have tried to cross it, few succeeded." "Thank you," said Pinocchio. As they walked together, the wolf introduced himself as Luka, the guardian of the forest. Luka showed him how to listen to the wind and follow the North Star. Before parting, Luka gave Pinocchio a shimmering silver feather. "If you ever get lost, hold this up. The northern winds will guide you." Pinocchio waved goodbye and pressed the feather close to his wooden heart. Beyond the forest, the world turned white and endless. Snow sparkled like diamonds, and the cold bit sharply at his wooden cheeks. Days turned into nights that glowed faintly blue under the moon. One day, Pinocchio came upon the great frozen river of Luma, its surface gleaming like glass. But the ice cracked and groaned dangerously. "How will I ever cross?" he murmured. Then he remembered Luka's feather. He held it up, and the wind began to hum softly. From behind a snowbank appeared a polar fox, its fur as white as clouds. "Trying to cross my river, are you?" said the fox, her voice playful. You'll need balance and brains for that. I'm brave, said Pinocchio, but I could use some help. The fox grinned. Then follow me, step where I step. The fox darted across the ice, her paws light and swift. Pinocchio followed, trying to mimic her careful steps. But halfway across, crack! The ice beneath him began to split. Hold still, cried the fox. Pinocchio spread his arms like she had taught him, balancing on his wooden toes. Inch by inch, he shuffled forward until, thunk, he reached the other side safely. The fox giggled. Not bad, little puppet. You've got the heart of an adventurer. Thank you, Pinocchio said, smiling. I couldn't have done it without you. The fox's eyes sparkled. Remember this, Pinocchio. Sometimes courage means listening, not just doing. With a flick of her tail, the fox disappeared into the snow, leaving behind the glowing blue gem. Pinocchio tucked it into his pocket. The days grew colder and the sky darker. A terrible blizzard swept across the land, swirling snow so thick that Pinocchio couldn't see a thing. He huddled under a fallen log, shivering. Maybe I was foolish, he whispered. I should have stayed home with Papa. He felt something warm in his pocket. The blue gem from the fox began. He felt something warm in his pocket. The blue gem from the fox began to glow softly. Then he heard a familiar voice in the wind. Remember your wish. Follow your light. Pinocchio stood up, blinking away the snow. He looked at the gem, then at the feather. They shimmered together, pointing toward the glowing North Star that had reappeared through the clouds. With renewed strength, Pinocchio trudged forward. The blizzard howled, but he kept going, his heart beating with determination. Finally, after what felt like forever, he reached a vast snowy hill that overlooked the horizon. The wind fell silent. The world seemed to hold its breath. Pinocchio climbed to the top of the hill and gasped. Before him stretched a night sky alive with color. Waves of emerald green, soft pink, and golden ribbons danced and twirled like playful spirits. The northern lights. He fell to his knees, his eyes wide with wonder. It's real, he whispered. It's more beautiful than I ever imagined. The lights shimmered and twisted above him, forming shapes. A fox leaping, a wolf howling, a wooden boy smiling. Pinocchio laughed joyfully, tears freezing on his cheeks. Thank you, he whispered to the sky, for guiding me here. Then something magical happened. The lights grew brighter and brighter until one ray descended softly, touching Pinocchio's wooden chest. Warmth flooded through him, not just the warmth of light, but of life. His wooden heart glowed golden. For a moment, he could feel it, thumping, beating like a real one. When the lights finally faded, dawn crept across the snow, painting the sky in rose and gold. Pinocchio stood silently, feeling the lingering warmth inside him. He realized something wonderful. The lights hadn't just changed the sky. They had changed him. He was still wooden, yes, but inside he felt truly alive, brave, kind, and full of light. As he began his journey home, he met the wolf Luka again by the forest's edge. So, Luka said with a grin, did you find what you were looking for? Pinocchio nodded. Yes, and more. I found my heart. The wolf chuckled softly. Then your quest is complete, little one. When Pinocchio finally returned home, Geppetto ran out of the workshop, tears streaming down his face. My boy! I was so worried. Pinocchio hugged him tightly. Papa, I saw them. The northern lights. They were alive. And they made me feel real. Geppetto smiled, brushing snow from his hair. You've always been real to me, my son. But now, I think you finally believe it too. That night, as they sat by the fire, Pinocchio told his papa about Luka the wolf, the clever fox, and the glowing sky. Geppetto listened in awe, his heart swelling with pride. Outside, through the window, a faint shimmer of green light appeared on the horizon, a gentle reminder of the magic Pinocchio had found. And though he was back home in his little village, Pinocchio knew one thing for certain. The light of the north would forever shine within his heart. Moral of the story: true light comes not from what we see, but from what we discover inside ourselves. Courage, kindness, and belief can turn even the smallest wooden heart into one that truly shines.